Hello everyone, I am Jason Kaplan, and you know what? It's a little bit dark here in the studio, so let's switch on the lights because we have the best players competing in the best games, all for an amazing cause. Ladies and gentlemen, Gamers Without Borders 2021 is about to begin. We have 6 weeks of intense competition coming up, and here in this place, as you can see here, on Among the Elite, we will cover the most spectacular and exciting moments of it all. We will meet players, coaches, and other special guests throughout our time here. Now, as the first week of the Elite competition kicks off with FIFA, let's take a look at what happened last year in Gamers Without Borders back in 2020.
When it comes to football, everybody would like to be the next Messi or Neymar. But let's be honest, who doesn't like to kick some grass off the pitch while sitting comfortably on the couch? That's why we here at Gamers Without Borders gave that opportunity to the best pro players from around the globe, as well as our invited guests, to see who's the FIFA Ultimate Team Champion. Both groups kicked off in a best-of-3 format with 8 players who had to huff and puff with their red-hot controllers. After 8 matches, we already knew that Gravson was hungry for more, but he still had to face a tough Polish opponent on his way. Spanish tiki-taka was simply too much for Damie to handle.
And then suddenly Weekend League came along and changed everyone's lives. Some for the better, some for the worse.
And it was Real Zaragoza's player who won both of his games and made it as our first finalist.
Gravson has the chance to put this game to bed. It's going to be a cheeky little dink as well into the left-hand side of the goal.
The Pole lifted his expectations and won his duel for a second chance in the lower bracket against Turkey, which let him still stay in the tournament.
Player, and that was impressive.
When it comes to Group B, everybody waited for an old-time rivalry game with MS Dossery versus Fanatics Tex to happen. Unfortunately, we couldn't witness that, as Tex surprisingly lost both of his games, which certainly helped MS Dossery win the group stage with his clash against Umut.
We're into stoppage time here at the end of the first half of extra time, and Neymar linking up with Frankie de Jong, who strikes across goal!
The finals kicked off with some big expectations from both Tundra esports players. Just when we were done with the first leg matches, it was time to see if the Polish FIFA master had what it takes to bring the champion down. And oh boy did he live up to the expectations. His counterattack was a real cherry on top, which certainly helped Damien clear a path to the final.
CR7 up the other end for Damie to make it a done deal. Tries to drag back. Oh, it's in off the woodwork. It's 4-2.
After dethroning the king, it was time for another challenge. The battle of the neighbors, Poland versus Germany. The result? As Gary Lineker once said, football is a simple game. 22 men chase a ball for 90 minutes, and in the end, the Germans always win.
Mbappe steps up. The Frenchman versus the Frenchman. He puts it in the side netting, and Umut will be your champion.
The creme de la creme of Gamers Without Borders personalities were to be found in the show matches, where our guest superstars showcased their skills on the virtual pitch. It was a real pleasure to watch some online action from people like Snoop Dogg and Kerwin Frost, who undoubtedly stole our hearts.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a treat to play in the FIFA Tournament 2020.
Also, let's not forget that joy in Andre Silva's voice.
Amazing again. Amazing.
And a disputed offside call from Paulo Dybala.
No. Pass, good pass, but offside.
No! He's
offside. It's offside.
It is not offside.
Ellie was pretty sure he was offside.
Yeah, no.
That's all.
FIFA at Gamers Without Borders was truly a spectacle to behold.
So this year, there will be a lot of football fireworks, and not only within the Gamers Without Borders Elite competition, but we'll also get to meet and play with some of the biggest superstars in football. And speaking of stars, I'm pretty sure you have met this guy before. He's a true Counter-Strike legend, one of the best leaders in the game's history, and you know what? He was here with Mouse Sports last year. This year, he's joined us once again in 2021, but this time he'll be sporting a FaZe Clan jersey. We had a chance to sit down with Kerrigan and talk to him before this event began.
Yeah, since I joined FaZe Clan in February, we've been through a rough road, you can say. The results haven't been what we actually want to have, not at all, right? So not even minimum goals was reached. So yeah, it's obviously a completely new beginning for the lineup. I bring a lot of game plans, the way we need to play, the synergy between teammates, and it hasn't been what I wanted to be, and people have to adapt to the way I call and find their role within the team. We also had some role clashes with some of the players, so trying to put out some comfort zone and figure out how can we play best CS, right? Yeah, Coursera is leaving a big gap to fill, right? I think he adds a lot to a team out there. But what you want to do is when you have to have a big player that you have to replace, you don't replace with the one-to-one same player. You have to figure out, okay, what was Cole good at, who can replace that, and what was he's not so good at, right? No player is perfect. So that's what we're trying to figure out, that, okay, by Cole leaving us, we can have another guy filling some other gaps, which maybe makes the team better, maybe worse, we don't know, right? We have to adapt as a team. Sometimes you miss some players, right? You always have some relationship built up with them. I think I've talked good about all the players in the team, right? So it's not really the team I'm leaving in that sense, but also new challenges, right? I'm an in-game leader who likes to work in a specific time and amount with some team and achieve the best results I can. And yeah, I knew FaZe is going through a rebuild, so I thought that was very interesting, and I had a really good relationship with the org owners, so I knew what I was coming into. It's not like it was a completely new place, right? New organization, but it's kind of felt like coming home in that sense. Yeah, I actually recall that period of time back then when we played the last tournament in 2020. It was with MR12. And also coming into the tournament, I felt it was a quite hard time for me personally. I was kind of burned out from all the online season and no view of coming lands, right? So coming to that tournament, you play a little without less pressure. You know, it's for a good cause, and it was fun and enjoyable to try out the MR12, even though it was a very strange game to play. And yeah, I would obviously like to win that final against Navi. I think 5th map was in like overtime, and we kind of had a chance to close it out. So obviously I want to reach top 2 again this tournament. I think one of the main things when you go into a show match or tournament for a good cause is you want to show off, right? And I think we delivered that final with really close matches, and I think that, again, that's the main thing when you come into a tournament like that. It's for the good cause, right? And for me, that was the most important thing from last year, that it went to something, and we tried to win to donate the money to the place we wanted to donate, right? Yeah, I think it's good cause, and I think one time per year you can do something like this. But obviously, if you do it more times per year, the schedule is gonna build up, right? So if you know in ahead of good time, I always think it's good to show something to community, but also the community donate where they watch some of their favorite teams play, right? So that all makes sense in some regard. They do it one time per year. Obviously, Ancient has been a really interesting map so far. What I like about it, it's not that much different when it comes to other maps. I think Vertigo was and is very different than all other maps, right? With the vertical sound, you have to sneak everywhere, you can't really play clutches. So far, Ancient feels like a map that makes sense to play fast. You can do executes, and you can play for map control, right? And there's a lot of opportunities, and so far I really enjoy playing the map.
Soon we'll find out if Kerrigan can do it again and lead another team to the grand finals of Gamers Without Borders. But before that happens, let's remind ourselves what went down last year. Here's a recap of CSGO and Rainbow Six Siege at Gamers Without Borders in 2020.
In 2020, 2 world-class shooters played a big part in making the first Gamers Without Borders event special. Now they return for yet another year of some nail-biting action. So let's see what went down last time, shall we? When it comes to Counter-Strike, 6 top teams answered the call and joined us on the servers, with FaZe Clan picking up some serious steam in the first match.
And it's a very slow approach here. One flashbang will be delivered towards CD spawn. That's sent in, and that's a commitment to fully commit at this stage. We'll see if they'll find this first frag. Time is ticking away, though. Looks is very good for FaZe. Amanek will pull one back, but there it is. That's a kiss of death from Rain.
And then securing a nice victory over G2.
Amanek can do whatever he wants at this point. He can touch it. He can dance around the bomb. Broky knows he's got this one. Just going to swing out, take him down. 3-2-1. Job to good and 2-0 FaZe.
Their adventure was cut short in the semi-final against Na'Vi, despite coldzera's best efforts.
coldzera's still there. Oh my god, he's lost his life a little bit here, but still, he is alive, and he might win the round. Flamey, 12 points of health. Doesn't go
what?
And Broky going against all odds.
No kits available, but there is a smoke. Electronic surely drops it on the bomb, goes to the defuse there. It's faked. They're not committing to this. And Broky, he'll have to do the same. Here comes the spray. He's done it once again, and Broky clutches out.
As for the second quarterfinal, let's just say that it wasn't the best one for Fnatic, who didn't pose too much of a threat to OG.
Matthew has all this utility, but no real way of using it. So here we go. Oh!
The same OG that, after a long and exhausting battle, couldn't handle the pressure coming from Mousesports and their biggest menace, Woxic.
Woxic with a big spray down there. That's what you like to see. And now, it's the ace as well. I got back just in time.
This gave us a grand final that would satisfy almost all CSGO fans. A best-of-5 showdown where 2 initial maps fell into Na'Vi's hands, even with Chris J doing his best to turn the tide.
Chris, he doesn't have to peek. I mean, he knows that bomb is going to be planted at some point, and Electronic actually goes forward, and Chris will take him down.
And just when he thought that Nuke would be the end, Mousesports somehow managed to claw back, and later on, Train equalized the series score.
Oh, what a quick shot. Boomich has to get close here and try and see if he can get the kill and the defuse right away. He does have a defuse kit, but Chris, he's going to get it.
All would be decided on Inferno, and it was a heated battle with teams tugging the rope back and forth to even get us into an overtime. An overtime where Na'Vi finally sealed the deal to become Gamers Without Borders champions.
The bomb not down yet. 7 seconds. They are not both peeking him. There it is. Flamey taking him down.
Fighting to help others. Now jumping into Rainbow Six Siege, teams from 3 different regions fought on the servers, giving us a total of 12 contenders. It all started in the Americas, where 2 squads absolutely dominated their competition. First, FaZe Clan gave no quarter to Ninjas in Pajamas to become the Latin American winner. And later, Oxygen Esports rolled over E United to secure their win in the NA part of the day.
And now going for a different approach, going slow instead of pre-firing everything, but he will still be taken out. It's going to be Oxygen.
Next, we took a trip into the Middle East and North African region, a region which began with Oshtek Warriors sending a clear message to their opponents and securing a spot in the grand final. Soon they were joined by the Ultimates, a team who arrived in the final after dealing with Nasser Esports. But if you thought that the MENA Grand Final would be fierce, you were in for a surprise, as after just 2 games, the Ultimates secured their first place finish.
To actually be dealing with the fight, and they've managed to find one as a result. Turkey finds one though, and that's suddenly looking like everything is down and dusted. It's all down to Zoldyck by himself right here, but Turkey's going to find the second one, and he gets the kill.
However, last but certainly not least, the Asia-Pacific region entered the scene, with Cyclops quickly setting the tempo for the rest of the tournament, which as a result, granted them a cozy seat in the final. Next to them sat Giants Gaming, who just a few hours earlier sent PET Nora Rengo home. Despite Giants claiming the first map, Cyclops were able to regroup their forces and later showed their prowess both on Villa and on Coastline.
He needs to go for the plant right now. There is no more time. He will be allowed to possibly, or will Anderson kill him? That's going to be the question. He runs through and will shoot him. It's not even a knife to come through. It's the GG.
As a result, becoming the APAC champions and earning a nice prize for a good cause.
So that was an overview of what happened last year in Counter-Strike and, of course, in Rainbow Six Siege. And believe me, you'll want to watch this year's tournament. Here's one star to watch in particular. Ladies and gentlemen, NIP's newest edition, the one, the only, Device.
So yeah, the adventure here at NIP has just begun. I feel like there are a lot to learn with the language still for me, and I would say I'm settling in really well with the guys, and we're having a lot of fun. And in general, I am enjoying my time, but I don't feel like I'm at the level I want to be at individually as a player, and I still trying to figure out Mirage and then also Ancient now. So yeah, I would say that like I'm happy and I'm doing better and I'm learning a lot, but I still know I can do a lot better than I'm doing right now. The main differences I would say is basically the play style. Hampus is a different in-game leader to Glaive in some ways, and is similar in other ways, but I would say that we play a more explosive gameplay and style here than in Astralis, and that's probably the biggest difference within the game. I would say that I'm also playing with a lot of more young players now. I'm the oldest one in the team by far, which is something I've never tried before. So those are probably the biggest differences. If I had to come up with one thing I would like to see more of that we had in Astralis, probably the calmness, but it's hard to say, right? Because the stress levels are going to be different on LAN and stuff. It's always fun to try different aspects of that. I like Astralis was not only just my teammates, but my friends and family in some way, right? So of course I miss them in a lot of ways, but we didn't have the same social environment because we were not traveling for tournaments because of COVID. So I'll get that social aspect when we'll see each other at tournaments. There's no bad blood there, but yeah, of course I miss the guys. It's cool that you have these opportunities to do something for the greater good without the immense pressure that some of the other tournaments hold, and yeah, I just hope that people will watch it and have fun with it, even though it's not playing with a knife at the throat, so to say, right? So it's a first for me. I've actually never participated in a charity CSGO tournament before, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully winning it and having a lot of fun with it. In general, it's just a cool aspect of the world, in my opinion, that you're able to give money away for charity, right? But I also think that actively making the right choices and decisions as a person for the environment and for everything is really important. So yeah, it's cool. Love charity. Don't like to talk too much about it because I think that it's something you should do out of choice, if you say so, and without getting any praise for doing it. It's gonna be hard to say who's the biggest threat. I mean, like Mousesports just won the RMR, and Furia always like a upset team, and I think that actually Furia, if they play without too much pressure and just go completely crazy, they are a really tough team to play against. So I'm actually gonna go with Furia. I think they're gonna thrive in this environment. I mean, looking at our team as a whole, we're definitely gonna have had more time to practice, and I think that it's hard to say like which teams are gonna be in the final. We definitely have equally a big of a chance as any of the other teams, if not a bigger chance. I think that we're putting up great results in practice, and in general with the short time we've had, we're doing really well. So it's not that I expect us to win the whole thing, but I would like to see us in the grand final.
Well, Device, we're also excited to see who makes it into the grand finals of our Counter-Strike competition, which kicks off in week 2. But before we can really even get to that, let's take a look back at last year and our best plays coming in from the CSGO and Rainbow Six Siege event.
Played as well, looking for his third. Simple, starting to wake up now, but still, it's going to be up to Brokey to try and bring this one back in their favor. P250 has drawn the perfect weapon to take down Perfecto. Low HP, could find Boomage as well. I think he gets his kill, Chad. Looking for the quick scope now, and this is where Brokey shines. If he can show us another clutch here, it would be absolutely fantastic. 2 versus 1 right now. Pressure is on. Time to work with. Smoke deployed. And this is where he can do something with this.
This smoke is huge. He has a gap. Does he know another player's close? Brokey playing around. He's isolated. He's got Boomage. It's a one-on-one. Can he get flamed? Brokey. He's done it. And has he broken Na'Vi here? This is nuts.
The CZ in this position can be so deadly. None of them are dropping. Simple knows everything. Electronic's going to hide into the corner. Simple's going to put a stop to the plant, and Electronic pounces as well. Now he can spin back around. One more headshot for Simple.
He's down to 1 health, but somehow still alive, and he's going to get another one, taking down Chris. What a magnificent triple quad at the end on a single point of health. What a god.
Fully committed this stage. We'll see if they'll find this first frag. Time is ticking away though. Looks this very good for FaZe. Amanek will pull one back, but there it is. That's the kiss of death from Rain as he manages to find 4 in total. Beautiful stuff. There's a whole thing. We'll get into it. The rush towards middle. Voxic with a big spray down there. That's what you like to see. And now, it's the ace as well. I got back just in time.
JW's holding the angle. I'm waiting for more to come up. And this is a god tier, a genius play from Issa.
Yeah, this is so next level. He just has to capitalize on it, and it'll be just fine. 2 kills would do it. He's seen all 3, and yeah, he's just counting them right now. What a surprise it is. He's with a great spray down, and he's going to get every single one, certainly winning the map. What a genius.
It's happening again, Chad. These last 3 rounds always seem to fall apart for FaZe. Rain will be left in a 3 versus 1. He will get flaming, no problem, but still, the final boss. Simple, waiting the other side. Thought it's a flashbang, but the flashbang is actually very effective here. Rain can do this. Great shot, 1 versus 1. Perfected towards the beat's dead. He's got a position. He's fluffed it. He's absolutely fluffed it there. Rain with a huge clutch, and he's gifted that final kill. Perfected doesn't even play with the C4.
As FaZe are inside, as you can see, and we're going to see Live come alive quite literally on the Nook right here, charging his way into Archives, now charging in towards Sandwich. Going to find out Julio as well. That's 2 kills already for him in this round. This is why you want a Nook. You cannot see her on the cameras. Make that a triple kill for himself.
20 seconds left. Time is running out. It's going to be Lexing dropping down as now we see the smoke play. Oh, the SMG missing big time. The shotgun will get the down, will get a kill to call it as well. Will get Forrest. It's a double kill here from Slash. Might actually do a little bit of a cheeky run out. 10 seconds left. Well, Valentino with a triple kill. It's only MS alive in that 1v3 will take down 2. Down onto Nexus as well, leaving only MLA alive. And he's now waiting for that Mossy to peek in. MS still has a lot of HP, just working with that, taking down the castle in the end. Now the time will start ticking. MS still has all his lifelines to work with. As the wall will be opened up, it's a little bit of a fake from MLA, still trying to fight off the Sophia. And the Claymore still not set either. It's going to be that 1v1 that is still lingering on for such a long time, but MS actually wins the 1v3 clutch, and the ultimates will go with that 3-0 lead even further.
Clearly no friendly fire rules enabled in this game, because that's what the focus has been so far coming through for Astro. But Julio's going to once again work some magic here. They almost had the diffuser going down, but it's not quite going to stick, and it's down to a 1 versus 1. It's going to be Astro seeing out where the Vigil is, but it's all down to Julio with that pistol. Another wondrous round for him to end things out.
Rest of Yellow now decides to make the push. They're actually inside. It's going to be Bird that picks up 1, but there's also rotation there. He needs to cover, gets the triple kill, and now is going to be holding off that rotation as the last one moves through. Bird finishes it off. He cleans house. He cleans the kitchen.
Or at least destroy before they could pop off in that case. Now straight back in again. Yuna very smartly with the right time. It's the 1, it's the 2. Can it be the 3? Yes, it can. 3 shotgun kills for Yuna to get FaZe round number 4.
The spot where they could go for a plan, but as Laxing managed to get the triple kill, it looks like Oxygen might be able to come back. Vertical goes down. It's 10 seconds here on the clock. Is it gonna be Laxing that gets the clutch? Yes, he does. It's the headshot onto Forrest to clean it up, and Oxygen will be on match point yet again.
Gamers Without Borders is not only FIFA, CSGO, and Rainbow Six Siege. Within the elite competition, teams will also be competing in Rocket League, Fortnite, and PUBG Mobile. And before it all starts, let's revisit some of our fondest memories from our 2 Battle Royale competitions in 2020.
We all know 2020 was a year most people would like to forget, but we fought and came back stronger. One of those things that helped a lot was definitely gaming. The PUBG Mobile tournament during Gamers Without Borders 2020 was no exception, so let's take a trip down memory lane. 32 teams showed up in total, 16 from the EU, CIS, and MENA regions, as well as another 16 from Asia. The first day of the competition saw an outstanding performance from the CIS team, Team 1218. But it shouldn't surprise us, as their first win came on the fourth match on snowy Vikendi. And we all know Russians like to stay hot while it's cold outside. Because of their consistent performances and securing 5 out of 6 podiums, they managed to top the standings. When it came to day 2, however, it would be unfair to say Team 1218 had it in their pockets, as they topped the podium only once, where the real deal were stepping on their toes and slowly closing the gap in some truly bizarre ways.
Azzy gonna go for the aggressive push, and Manic still has that tree to defend him for. That's overly aggressive, Azzy. Can you make it work out? It's gonna be ending in a few seconds. Manic puts him below. One more bullet for Azzy, and that's all he needs with a DP.
Despite their best efforts, it was still Team 1218 whose consistency followed them to the top and earned them the right to donate $250,000 to the International Medical Corps. In Asia, or South Asia to be exact, the battle was heated with both Godlike and TSM Entity going blow for blow till the final game of the tournament. While TSM Entity were overall more consistent and picked up way more kills than other teams in the tournament,
They're just gonna go instantly for the flush, putting them down to 3 members, 4v3, and they are not stopping that crawl. Gonna be also knocked away. This is looking so strong for TSM Entity. They gave it a third. This is so clean. This is so perfect. And now they have to remain on the last lockdown, and he gets it despite being so low.
Godlike were able to win 4 of the 12 matches, which were played across 2 days. But in the final game of the series, Godlike pulled out a 15-kill chicken dinner.
Azix in there and it gets taken down, but it's gonna be the grenade, and Sarah comes in and Godlike get the chicken dinner,
which allowed their team to finish the competition 1 point ahead of TSM Entity. TSM's Z-God kept things close by being the sole survivor and getting some clutch kills and placement points in the end, but it just wasn't enough. Oh, and let's not forget about Fortnite, where the world's 50 best duos fought through 3 exciting days. From the very beginning of the first day, we could tell that one Russian duo in particular was in it to win it. Their opponents tried their best, but against all odds, Letwick somehow always managed to stay alive. The Danes tried hard to step on their toes.
All of the shields going down to half HP very early on, and Snazzy spotted outside and gets instantly taken out of the game.
But the obscene amount of points gained by the Russians was simply too much. Day 2 was no exception. The power duo struck again and repeated their success from day 1, which helped them gain $300,000 for a charity of their choice. The final day of the International Elite Tournament increased the daily prize fund to $1 million and brought us an amazing personality in the form of Della Ali as one of our participants. This time, though, it was the German Ovation who called it a day.
2v2 situation. You're going to have one player rosing down. You're going to have one player trying to pop shots. A nice little quick edit there from Zestin and Mag to make it happen. And you have it. He takes down Mexe, and the OVA duo pulls themselves up with a victory royale.
Scout and Zeston won by only 4 points. But hey, a win is a win, right? At the end of the day, the results didn't really matter, as everybody was here for a great cause.
Unfortunately, that is it for today, but don't worry. I'll be back every week to bring you the best moments from the elite competition of Gamers Without Borders. Thank you all for watching. I have been Jason Kaplan, and we'll see you next week here on Among the Elite.
Hello and welcome to Gaming Night. My name is Banks, and not that kind of banana. Crab walk.
I'll lead.
Flash?
Throwing flashbang.
No, not that one. Maybe Rush?
Go, go, go.
Rings a bell? If not, you need to refresh your stream, guys, because I don't think I can make it any more obvious. It's Counter-Strike, the most spectacular game when it comes to esports. Players become worldwide renowned stars, and wherever CSGO tournaments are held, arenas are packed. And as the game grew, so did the money in it. So you may be asking yourself, how popular could CSGO really be? Let's find out.
When you think about the most popular games in esports, then surely Counter-Strike comes to mind, a game older than many players who play it. Nowadays, major CSGO tournaments are one heck of a show and a money-making machine, with top players earning more money than athletes in most traditional sports. But back in the days, it looked a little bit different.
I remember I played in Katowice when I was about 20. I came to Katowice for an esports tournament, and that was an internet cafe with 20 people, and we competed, and nobody watched it online, just the people behind us. That was the top of esports at that time. I never imagined at any point in my life that the world's best gamers would come and fill an entire stadium, let alone in Katowice.
Since then, Counter-Strike quite simply became one of the pillars of modern esports, and many of its players went from being amateurs to full-blown pros, with the very best achieving the reputation of being true stars. The game's growing popularity naturally attracted viewers, and even though CS is already an adult, it still remains the second most watched game on Twitch. And with popularity comes money. Just look at this list from 2020, showing just how much is going on in the world of Counter-Strike, and how much prize money is awarded directly to the players. But how much money can you actually make while being a pro? Short answer, even tens of thousands. At least when it comes to the Danish juggernaut Astralis, who, according to the Danish newspaper BT, pay their players a fixed salary of 200,000 Danish kroner, which translates to a little over $30,000. And guess what? The top 5 highest CSGO earners of all time are, or have been, members of Astralis. According to esportsearnings.com, all of them have already made over $1 million, and Dupree is even close to breaching that sweet $2 million barrier, enough to buy a cozy island in the South Pacific. How crazy. However, the tournament prize pools and salaries are not the only source of income for them. With that Champions tag and growing popularity come merchandise, sponsorship deals, and even taking part in commercials. Moreover, nowadays professional CSGO organizations also transfer players, just like in football. And Cloud9 even revealed their transfer fees last year, announcing that a 3-year contract with Alex McMeekin, better known just as Alex, cost them $1.65 million. And the analysts from Esports Transfers estimate that Nico's transfer from FaZe Clan to G2 cost a mind-blowing $2.42 million, which would easily make it the biggest transfer in the entire history of the game. And let's not forget about the merchandising stuff. Top teams' jerseys cost, and yes, this is true, almost as much as the most popular football club jerseys. But that's still not the end of it, as there are also in-game stickers and weapon skins. Players are able to sell some of them for a large amount of money, with the most expensive so far probably being the, and bear with us here, the AK-47 case-hardened with StatTrack technology, bearing 4 Titan Hollow Katowice 2014 stickers and its minimal wear, obtained for an unbeatably low price of just $150,000 US. A true face of the game right there. Sure, when it comes to money, CSGO might not boast as large numbers as Dota 2 or League of Legends, but there's still a lot of dough to be earned here, and the numbers just keep going up.
So now you can see the scale of it. And if you're thinking of turning pro, becoming famous and making serious money, you better get to work, because there are millions like you with the same dream. Talking of dreams, here is a man who's been on stage for over a decade and has competed for teams like Astralis, Mouse Sports, and most recently, FaZe Clan. Carrigan is a true Counter-Strike legend, so let's check out if his knowledge is as good as his CSGO in-game leadership skills.
So the three questions are: the planet Mars appears red is due to the fact that the surface is covered in rust. Next answer is: the oldest CSGO player who won a Pro Tournament was 78 years old. And the next one is: the Netherlands area is bigger than Denmark's area. I think the second one is a lie. Okay. Cows are able to walk upstairs, but not downstairs. Running with a gun in front of slows your character down. Brain is using 20% of all the oxygen that we breathe. I have never played Fortnite, so this one is tough. I know this is a trick question. I think running with a gun in front of slows your character down is false. Oh my god, yes. There is a fish species that coughs. Or bats can eat up to 3,000 flies a night. In CSGO, crouching improves your aim. I know 100% third one is right. I mean, improves your aim. It depends if you are talking spray or tapping. Your crosshair gets better, so I guess that's the thing. Yeah, the third one. Like, because it's spray instead of aim. It's not like you aim better just because you're crouching. The third one is lie. Messi has won the Ballon d'Or 8 times, or we spent 2 weeks of our lives waiting at traffic lights, or Sea Lion is the only animal that is able to clap a beat. I think the third one is a lie. Sea Lion is the only animal that is able to clap a beat. Yeah, but he won a lot of times though. So Astralis are the only team to win a major without losing a map in the playoffs. A snail can take a nap that lasts 3 years. Or all of us have more kills of competitive CSGO than Carrigan. Thinking about the major thing. I don't think a snail can take a nap that lasts 3 years, so I think that one is the false one. What? I have more kills than Olaf? Interesting. That's because he's so bad, you know? I have more kills than him. A man's cough is almost 1,000 kilometers per hour, while his sneezing is faster than 160 kilometers per hour. A can of regular soda will sink, but a diet soda will float in the water. D2's Nico Spirit animals llama. What the hell? I think the third one is a lie. Not good. Dog and Nico apparently. So bees can fly higher than Mount Everest. Our first video game tournament took place in 1972. PSP was the first console in space. Bro, I think first one. I don't think bees can fly higher than Mount Everest. Maybe they can, but then they become birds or something. So I think the first one is a lie. Oh Jesus, where are they going? But were they on the moon is the question. Johnny Depp holds all the rights for any computer game combined with Pirates from the Caribbean. Symbol has almost 31,000 kills in competitive CSGO. A tsunami speed can be as fast as a jet plane. I think the third one is a lie. Man, I suck at this. It's not going as I wanted it to be. You can't get married with video game character. Or you can't smell anything when you're asleep. Or to think a human's brain use 10 watts of energy does not feel pain. And does not... Oh my god. At the first one, you can't get married with a video game character. They can't say yes. Okay, interesting. Apparently you don't have to say yes. Humans' fingernails grow faster when someone is cold. The most expensive CSGO in history was the AK-47, sold by $250,000. Before 1930, you could send your child to grandpa via postal service. Jesus, man. What is these questions? I think the third one is a lie, man. You can't send child with a postal service. Apparently you can, but no, I don't believe it. So the second one is a lie. Unlucky. That's better than 0, you know?
Okay, so you saw how Carrigan coped with our test. You have to admit, that CSGO superstar is a very clever man. Now, celebrities. Here's a few names that you probably didn't know love to play CSGO. Cue the epic music.
A lot of faces within the world of Counter-Strike can without a doubt be considered celebrities. But what about widely known people outside of the game? It's not only professional athletes who dive into CS, and some even redefine the way it's meant to be played. Starting in the world of professional football, the name Neymar Jr. almost immediately springs to mind. This famous Brazilian player caused quite a buzz back in 2019, when during the minors in Katowice, he openly rooted for Furia esports. But that's not the only moment when he expressed his fondness for Counter-Strike. In fact, he's an active and avid CSGO enthusiast, and even sometimes posts his highlights, just like this op ace from 2017.
Vamos! Aí, carizeira.
And during the 2018 FIFA World Cup, Neymar and his buddies not only celebrated their goals in true CS style,
throwing flashbang,
but also blew off some steam after their match against Mexico with some action on Inferno. And that's something you don't get to see every day. Staying in the world of sports, let's now take a look at basketball and one of the top NBA players, Jonas Jerebko. Yup, he also treats himself to a little game of CS from time to time and even took his love for the game and esports to the next level by buying the whole Renegades organization in 2016 to later rebrand it to Detroit Renegades. But Jerebko isn't the only famous basketball player to get involved in the world of Counter-Strike. Ever heard of Shaquille O'Neal? Four-time NBA champion and 15-time NBA All-Star, regarded as one of the best players of all time? Well, he also dove into the game really deep.
Nobody's gonna hurt my little chickie, baby. No.
And let's not forget about Jacek Janowicz, the Polish tennis player and former ATP number 14, who not only likes to play Counter-Strike, but also has shown the real struggles of every gamer. But as we said in the beginning, professional athletes aren't the only celebrities playing Counter-Strike. Some decent representation also comes from the music industry. Take Nicky Romero, for example. This Dutch DJ and music producer had his own Counter-Strike community server at one point. Or Logic, an American rapper and producer who has always been very open about his love for gaming, and even runs his own YouTube gaming channel. When it comes to CS, however, Logic didn't want to go the easy route, and with the help of FaZe Rain, sadly not the CS player, he decided that mouse and keyboard are obsolete.
I have a question.
What's up?
So I just got CSGO.
Yeah.
And I'm on my laptop, and how do I make it so that my controller can be the main?
It's a PC game, dude.
I know, but on all my PC games, I can use my controller.
Naturally, though, our list wouldn't be complete without a representative from the Counter-Strike bastion itself, Denmark. Coming in the shape of Simon Talbot, a popular comedian. Talbot has not only been very active on his Twitch account, but he can also pack a punch on the server. But even he cannot withstand the power of the boat.
Hey! No, we're not kicking Simon.
So as you can see, known people and celebrities in Counter-Strike come in all shapes and sizes. Of course, this is just a short list of the more recognizable names, but even so, it clearly shows that gaming can bring all kinds of different worlds together.
I have to admit, some of those celebrities caught me off guard, but it ain't over yet, because it is time now for us to meet our next guest. Could you believe that I get to chat with CSGO royalty? Please welcome to the show. Welcome to Gaming Night. Pimp, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good, it's great to have you on the show. I'm going to kick things off straight away by asking you first about your transition from casual gamer to pro gamer. Did you seek out an org or did you get contacted? What happened?
Oh, I started out by playing a lot of free-for-all stuff in Counter-Strike, gun game, and all these fun modes back in the days where you're just chilling and having fun with your friends. And I gotta admit, I was also one of those kids who were just being super annoying in the voice chat, yelling and screaming at people, and got the full casual experience. Then a couple of mates of mine asked me once if I wanted to try to play a competitive game. I didn't even realize you could play 5 against 5 back then, and I was like, why not? And we played a couple of games, and I find it funny, and figured out that you could now compete in my favorite game. So I've always been very sports oriented. I always played football, handball, etc. here in Denmark. So the fact that I could now compete in my favorite game as well, it's just instantly sucked me in. And ever since, I never looked back. I went from being a casual player to a player that played super, super serious and super, super competitive just to make sure that I got good.
Well, when you think back to that time, what was the competition like when you wanted to turn pro? I mean, in comparison to how it is now.
Well, there's definitely more competition nowadays, but there was a fair bit of competition back then as well, considering I went pro when I was 15 years of age and I had to have my mom and my dad to sign my contracts to receive my free t-shirts and my free gaming gear and all that kind of stuff back then. So it was tough, I felt, back then, but I can imagine that if you're 15 or 16 years of age now, it must be even worse because there's so many new players and so many talents out there that you have to shine over, right? So I can understand why some people find it tough to break through into the pro scene, but that being said, I respect everyone who's ever done it because it's always been hard work.
Yeah, it definitely has always been hard work to turn pro. I definitely agree with you there. But you've been considered an idol and a great example of professionalism in professional CSGO. So did you have any idols in CSGO as you climbed up the ranks that you looked up to?
I didn't have any idols as per se. There was a couple of players I liked, for their playing style and the way they conducted themselves on the server. Existence is a guy that I always refer back to. Belgian, French in-game leader for a team called Very Games in Counter-Strike Source back when I was playing. And he was like the top of the cream, right? He was the player you look up to. He was the guy who was winning everything, and he seemed to have such a nice charisma around him. But apart from that, we didn't really have any idols or any role models back then as we do today because it was so new still. So as you said, I kind of grew up as to be this new role model for the next generation, and whether or not I succeeded with that, I'm not too sure.
You're doing a great job of it so far, take it from me. Now, I want to take things slightly away from CSGO for a brief moment because I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite hobby outside of CSGO? Because I've noticed in your YouTube videos and your streams, you've got a very nice road bike behind you a lot of the time. Is that something that you love doing?
I love road biking. I love biking in general, yeah. I will say, though, that a couple of years ago, I was riding my bike more than I do today. Today, I'm more about football. I play a lot of football, and I enjoy playing football. I started when I was 19 years of age, so I was super, super poor and super, super bad compared to all my friends and all the guys I played with at my club. But, as the same mentality I had when I went from casual player in Counter-Strike to a professional player, I'm putting in a lot of work and I'm putting in a lot of effort to become better at football. And, watching football games, watching the Premier League, watching La Liga, watching League One, etc., and engaging with football is definitely my side passion to Counter-Strike. I would go as far as saying that I play more Counter-Strike, surely, but I watch as much football as I watch Counter-Strike, and that's not little.
So I imagine that you're watching a lot of the Euros right now, which is definitely popping off. I see it everywhere, and it's super exciting. But if you could start a band with CSGO pro players, this is a definite off-the-cuff question. Who would you pick and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would definitely go for Simple. I want like the rock star mentality to be in my band, and no fucks given, to be completely honest. And I think Simple is a great attribute to that. So we got to put him in there. You got a bit of niceness as well. You got that nice guitar guy who's everyone is looking towards, who's a good looking guy. So I'm thinking Device, on the side of Simple to play the guitar and be a good looking guy who could be an attraction for people to come watch. I'll put in myself because I'm pretty badass when shit gets down. To be completely honest. So I think me, Simple, and Device would form a pretty cool band.
You've thought of that before, I swear. Like that, you've got every angle covered. Now, this might be a bit of a touch and go question, so bear with me, okay? Have you ever had an embarrassing moment at a pro tournament? Now, before you answer, I'm going to let you kind of let it marinate with you for a bit, because I'm going to tell you my most embarrassing moment so far. So I'm hosting a tournament, and I have to run in between a link from interviewing someone to interviewing someone else, and I had a few steps in between. I had to jump up those steps in order to get to my next interview, and so I decided to jump them instead of walk up the steps like a normal person would, and my foot came out of my shoe. So somewhere on YouTube there is me interviewing a professional Clash of Clans player with one shoe on. That is
It's not bad. It's not bad. You could have done worse, though. You could have done worse.
I definitely could. Okay, what about you?
Yeah.
What about you?
There's so many to pick from. I don't really know. I feel like the most embarrassing stuff I've done, it wasn't actually on cam. We were doing a recording, we were doing a show, and we had one of those mic packs on us. And we agreed that we were done for the day. And I jumped into my car and I was driving home. The studios were an hour and a half from where I live. And when I got back home, I realized I still had the microphone on myself. I still had the mic pack on me. So I had to drive all the way back to deliver that back and then go all the way back home. So I don't know if it's embarrassing, but it's stupid as hell. And it cost me a 3-hour drive.
Oh, 3 hours. I bet the guys at production were like, we're not going to work with this guy again. He's just trying to steal the microphones.
Well, I was like, I'm not going to work with you guys again. So we were even on that front.
Well, your name, Pimp, comes from taking the social club's computer room from the older kids. Now, how did you do that? Because in my head, I'm playing out a scene from John Wick. You know, there's keyboards being thrown, there's mouse being wrapped around people. Talk me through it, because I need some clarification.
Well, it's quite simple. Back then, there was like set times and set schedules for when the kids could have the computer room. So luckily, we were consulted by adults, and they were following us in there, telling the big kids that now they had to get the hell out of here. And now the smaller kids, I think I was 3rd grade or 4th grade back then, could now have the computer room. But you know it, when you're 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and you have to give up your PC to a little choppy guy with glasses, you're not feeling too satisfied about it. So they called me the little pimp and the little tyranny, I think they called me. It's a weird name, but they started to call me the pimp, and ever since I just stuck to it. And I guess I changed it from the pimp to just pimp.
Oh, I love a backstory. That's great. And I'm gonna end this section of the interview with something a little bit off the cuff that I wanted to ask you, because you know what, I've been watching a few things you've been doing. I check out your stream, your YouTube and stuff like that, and I'm not sure if you've got this before, but you, my friend, look like Ryan Reynolds. Okay. I've decided that you look like Ryan Reynolds, and have you ever had that before, by the way?
I've heard a couple of guys,
Yes.
I've seen a couple of guys in the chat say it, and then I've seen my much, just delete the message. So I'm like, there can't be any truth to that.
No, I love that, right? Because the popular game and now movie Mortal Kombat has had a buzz around it that Ryan Reynolds has been asked to play Johnny Cage in the sequel.
That's actually me, yeah.
So I have a question to ask you. Would you agree to be his body double if you were asked?
I would definitely agree to side by Ryan Reynolds for sure.
Because, I mean, how confident would you be being thrown around a movie set doing martial arts, basically? How confident would you be with that?
Easy. I've done it before.
Easy. I like that. Thank you so much for joining me in this interview. It really was a pleasure, Pimp. But there's more, unfortunately for you. Let's have some fun. And let's find out about some of your knowledge of the very smallest details within CSGO. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Good. Right, this is called What's on Your Mind, okay? So I'm going to kick things off by asking you, which CSGO player said, do stupid stuff, but do it with confidence?
Ooh, I believe I've heard that many times before, and if I can't quote myself, then I think the first guy to say it must have been either Exist or Flusher, like one of those two Swedish guys, because I feel like they were getting kind of annoyed by all this stupid shit going around.
We're off to a good start, because it was indeed Flusher. That is 1 for 1. Okay, I'm going to kick on to the next question. Number 2. What is the origin of the name Goose on Dust 2?
Well, wouldn't that be the goose painted on the wall on the map?
Well, it actually came from originally, right, from the nickname of one of the developers, whose name is Min Lee, but his nickname was Gooseman.
Fair enough.
Okay, we're good. 50%. It's all good. I want you to maintain this, okay? And we need above 50%, okay? So, number 3. What does the well-known Cali style refer to?
That would be jumping and headshotting and doing ridiculous stuff that shouldn't be able to be done without certain programs running on your PC. So I'm going to say the USP jump is probably one that comes into mind.
That is absolutely correct. The headshot at ESL 1 Cologne 2014, where it was Virtus Pro versus LDLC. There's the knowledge right there. I love it. Okay, 2 out of 3. Question number 4, Pimp. How many accessible ladders are there on Nuke?
All right, that would be 2. There'd be 1 in the vents, and there's 3. 4. There's 4. There's 1 in the vents, there's 1 under heaven, there's 1 outside in T-spawn, and 1 somewhere else. There's 4.
Oh, there's 5, Pimp. There's 5. You got lobby, roof, small in front of silos, vent, and heaven. Those are your 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
It's okay. No, don't worry about it, man. 2 for 2. This is the big one, okay? Which player has its own street on Inferno?
Say that again?
Which player has its own street on Inferno?
See, that's a good question, right? Because when it comes to callouts, we in Denmark at least, we use our own. So I have no idea. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say, I don't know, simple.
It's Freiburg from Ninjas in Pajamas. Via Adamo, the king of the banana.
Okay.
Street on Inferno. Right, question number 6. Let's power through. Which map is this graffiti from? You're going to see something on your screen. You're going to see a picture, and you have to tell me which map this graffiti is on. And who is it of?
That would be an AWP I see right there, and I guess that would be simple on cash, maybe.
Ooh, spicy! I like that.
What did you do? Oh, can I pick?
Yeah, you
Simple on
can.
cash.
You just picked. You just absolutely smashed it. Simple on cash. I love it, man. So you got the first one right now. We're going to move on to another map question. So which map is this graffiti from?
That's some flying stuff right there. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's... I don't know. Why can't I remember? It's not Cold Zero, is it? With the flying wings? Doesn't look like the Mirage background. I'm missing it. I'm gonna say Cold Zero, but it's not.
It's Dosha.
Okay, of course.
Okay, right. So number 8, right? Are you ready for number 8?
Yeah.
You're always ready, man. I don't even need to ask. So how many cars are there on Dust 2?
How many cars? There's one in B, there's one on Long, there's one outside Long, and there's one in T-spawn. I have not forgotten what that's for.
There's 6. You have 6 cars on Dust 2.
Where the hell are those?
You know what? I wish I could tell you.
Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
So I'm going to move swiftly on to a map that you've actually mentioned already. On the map Mirage, why are fireboxers called fireboxers?
That is cause one of my colleagues, Machine, back in the days, he always died at fireboxes, and he's a very fired up player. So he always started raging whenever he would die at firebox. So we called him firebox because that was sort of like indication of where Machine would die all the time when we played with him.
I mean, I kind of feel like I have to give you half a point because that's why you call it fireboxes. But the official answer is because there was a fire sign on them on the old map.
Oh, I just made that up.
I prefer your answer though, bro.
Yeah, I had no idea. I just made it up.
Number 10, who is the oldest professional CSGO player? And how old are they?
Oh, they're old. They're half dead. We're looking at the likes of Forrest. I think still is hanging around. Test technically still is playing. So I think we're gonna guess 33, 32 years of age. RPK retired. Is it Forrest who's still the most active professional player?
Well, I have to tell you that in the senior CSGO pro player roster, diehard Birdie is 78 years old.
Okay, well, kudos to diehard Birdie. That must be one hell of a career.
So, Pimp, we're going to show you 5 of the highest sale price CSGO skins. And you have to guess what they were sold for, and you'll get extra street cred, trust me, if you get any of the prices exactly right. Okay, sound good?
Yeah, I'm down.
Perfect. Right, we're going to kick off with the first one, which is Statrak M4A4 Howl, and this is factory new. Sold for how much?
These bad boys are expensive, yeah. On the street market, I'm gonna say that this factory new Howl was probably sold for $68,000.
Okay, we're going to bring things back a little bit, okay? We're going to kick, remember, we're going from cheapest to most expensive. Okay. So I should have said that as well. I'll give you one more guess before I give you the answer.
Okay, so I overshot it. You know what? This is whatever. It's $9,000.
Oh, it's $8,000. Okay, we're off to a good start. I like that. Okay. Cool. So now we can move on, and you'll now know that everything is more expensive than $8,000, and will progressively get higher, okay? So the Karambit Crimson Web, factory new. So we know it's above $8,000. What are you going to go for?
Oh, these bad boys are expensive. You say StatTrak, factory new? They could be worth a lot. I'm going to take a wild guess and say 15,000.
We're going to go a little bit less there. It's 9,000, okay? So we've gone from 8,000 to 9,000. Small jump. Not huge. Okay. We're going to go on to our next one. Okay, StatTrak M9 Bayonet Crimson Web factory new. What are we thinking about this one?
They're expensive too. They're all expensive. You did a little job last time. This is $15,000 easily. This is $15,000 of quality you're looking at.
This is an even smaller jump. This is $9,300. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now is that now we're going to jump. Okay. because we
Okay,
got the
okay.
next two. Okay, so this is the second most expensive skin. Okay, the Souvenir Dragon Lore, factory new. What are we talking?
Yeah, especially with a pipstick on that one. That's pretty impressive. We're looking at a very expensive skin right here. I'm gonna say $17,000.
This right here is $46,000.
Sure.
That was sold roughly for that amount. That is unbelievable. I don't even have words really for that one. And now for the most expensive skin, Pimp, okay? The StatTrak case hardened with 4 Titan Katowice 2014 stickers was sold for... Give it a go.
See, that's kind of funny, right? Because I've had that exact skin in my hand in my game. I was borrowing it from the guy. Yeah, I was borrowing it from the guy who bought it, and I believe he paid $150K for it.
Yes, you got it right. Right at the very end. I like it. $150,000. Can you believe it for a skin in CS:GO? That's absolutely unbelievable. Pimp.
I mean, it was nice. It was nice to play with, but let's be completely honest, it wasn't that nice. It's
nice, but not that nice. I'll take that. That's cool. Ben, thank you so much for joining me on Gaming Night. And we really, really appreciate all of your support for Gamers Without Borders. You really have been an amazing guest. And just thank you once again.
Absolutely welcome.
As you all know, Gamers Without Borders is a charity event supporting various charity organizations. I'm joined by UNICEF's Sports Partnerships Specialist, Frank Lawley. Welcome to Gamers Without Borders. It's an honor to have you here with us today. So first of all, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Great to be here at Gamers Without Borders too.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with me during your lovely time away. So, I can just dive straight into it. You are a sports partnership specialist at UNICEF, and I heard that you had a chance to cooperate with quite a few gaming initiatives before. So, are you a gamer yourself?
Yeah, so for me, mainly it's sports games. So growing up, it was kind of FIFA, Football Manager that were my staples. So you spent hours and hours kind of desperately trying to get my team, Newcastle United, into the Champions League and winning titles, which is very much gaming rather than reality. So mostly PlayStation console games. The PC games kind of less so. To be perfectly honest, I'd kind of never heard of things like League of Legends and Dota until I started working at UNICEF and working on gaming. So a kind of a little bit of a mixture there.
Well, there's a huge FIFA tournament going on during Gamers Without Borders, so I hope that you managed to catch that, even while you're away. And most of our viewers are for sure, familiar with UNICEF's humanitarian mission, but for those who are joining us for the first time and viewers that may not be so familiar, could you please tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So UNICEF we're the world's leading organisation for children. So we've done more than any other organisation. We're global, so we work in 190 countries and territories and some of the kind of office places. And we say kind of we work with along their full cycle, so from 0 to 18, across a number of different themes, ranging from kind of health, education, water and sanitation, and so on. Obviously, for UNICEF and for everyone, COVID has dominated a lot of what we've done over the last kind of 12 or so. Our response to COVID is in 2 areas. So one is supporting children across the world to recover from the effects of the pandemic, I guess across some of those themes that I've just mentioned there. And then the second and kind of one of the big focuses for this year is delivering life-saving vaccines. So we are part of the COVAX facility and kind of working across different continents to deliver vaccines, tests and treatments. I think that's one of the key focuses is giving equal access to the vaccine and ensuring no one gets left behind. And that's why I guess, it's through the support of partners and supporters that we're able to do this, like Gamers Without Borders, to help us achieve these goals.
Well, speaking about the last 12, to 18 months and Gamers Without Borders regarding UNICEF as well, we've donated over $3.9 million to UNICEF in 2020. So how has this amount of money helped your organization?
Yeah, it was an amazing partnership with a huge impact. So funding last year went towards our COVID-19 emergency response. I just mentioned it then. And I'll talk through some of the things that the funding helps us to achieve. So we reached over 100 million people with water and sanitation supplies. So for example, it's very difficult to wash your hands if you have no access to water or access to soap. We reached over 300 million children with distance learning as schools closed and education stopped around the world. And 90 million children provided with healthcare services last year through the appeal, which was greatly disrupted by the pandemic, again, across countries. And all of this has been delivered in world record time. So yeah, very thankful for the support this year, and again, hoping for similar this year.
Well, yes, touching on this year, we've spoken a bit about 2020, so now let's look to the future slightly. What's UNICEF going to do to, push vaccination rollout forward to countries that are in need the most?
Yeah, so you're completely right. The number one goal for us this year is very much the vaccines. So our aim is to deliver 2 billion vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines, by the end of 2021. And we're focusing on 92 low to middle income countries. So that's, you may have heard of the COVAX. So we've been asked to undertake the delivery task because for years and years UNICEF has delivered more vaccines than anyone else. So we vaccinate almost half the world's children every year. This means that we've got the skills, the capacity, and the partners on the ground to succeed and, again, ensure no one get left behind. And it's so important for us to achieve this goal, to help life get back to normal, and also to allow children to access the key services that have been disrupted by the pandemic. So it's great that, the Gamers Without Borders is supporting this vital work.
Speaking of us supporting and no one left behind, which is indeed our kind of slogan, our ethos for this year, 2021, it sounds incredible. But, in terms of education for, not only myself, but all of our viewers at home watching Gamers Without Borders, how can we contribute to your efforts? What can we do, to help UNICEF?
Yeah. So definitely, as well as obviously watching Gamers Without Borders, viewers can help us to beat the pandemic by donating to UNICEF and helping us to deliver this biggest ever global health campaign that I've mentioned. So with your support, we can help reach even more people with COVID-19 vaccines. And this is key. This is the only way we can push back the virus worldwide and protect the most vulnerable. Also, I guess a lot of the viewers are probably very active on social media. Another kind of, key way to support would be to help us fight the infodemic by sharing key messages on vaccines on your social media channels. And you can head over to UNICEF channels to see some of the messaging on this. And then finally, for the gamers of the Elite tournament, that ask very much, choose UNICEF and help us end this pandemic. For example, if you unlock a $100,000 donation, that can help to fund 2-dose vaccinations for 25,000 people. Hugely, hugely important.
That sounds absolutely vital. Frank, thank you so much for taking the time to join me on Gamers Without Borders, and we really appreciate everything you guys are doing, and best of luck with the rest of 2021 at UNICEF.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I love taking part in it. And thanks again to all of our amazing guests. My name is Banks, and we'll see you next week. And remember, no one left behind.
Hello everyone and welcome to Among the Elite. This week we're taking a look at what's happened in our FIFA Elite competition as well as have some very special guests on the show. But before we dive in, let's take a look at what happened in the FIFA Elite competition group stage.
Virtual football and a charity event for a good cause? Could this combination get any better? We think not. That's why it's time to check out what happened in the first 2 days at this year's Gamers Without Borders FIFA 21 Elite Tournament, where 32 top players from around the world fought for $1 million in donations of their choice. When it comes to Group A, all eyes were focused on none other than Moaba. However, when the first leg of the games was over, the 2019 world champion surprisingly couldn't land himself in between the upper bracket round of A, as he lost his first game 4-2 in the best-of-2 format.
Take time out of this game, just keep possession. And Mbappe... Oh, he bashed it in! That's a massive, massive goal!
What's even worse for Moaba was the fact that he couldn't handle T-Mox's skills in the lower bracket. I mean, look at that style.
Wants to score a special goal. None of this straightforward rubbish. The looping header! Are you kidding me?
It looked more like a game of hopscotch. The result? Moaba was out of the tournament. One person who definitely had a smile on his face, though, was 17-year-old Levi. The Dutchman had destroyed his first opponent 8-1 and managed to surpass Dennis later on by only a single goal. But this volley says it all.
There will be a chance for him very, very soon once again, sending it over across, and that's the first goal of the match.
One last close game to remember was a clash between Maestro and Mojabri, where the crucial counterattacks at the end helped Levante's representative join the superb group of players in the playoffs. Group B was loaded with stars, which we already knew from last year. But let's not forget the newcomers who were here to grab their piece of the pie. Despite losing his second game, the Swedish wonderkid Olelito, who represents Ninjas in Pajamas, still managed to squeeze through in first place with an 8-6 result, followed by an amazing run from Forsberg, who helped him earn the spot in the playoffs.
Forsberg, there's space. The Swede drives, slide challenge, invade ball roll. Olelito!
On the other hand, it seems the former world champions might actually have something in common. MS Dosseri, who's still considered the GOAT of the current FIFA era, followed in the footsteps of his German colleague as he first lost 4-2 against Turkish player Mert, and then suffered a bizarre loss to HSV Daniel, who dropped him out of the tournament.
Literally, we had a whole 90 minutes.
The goalie?
All you have to do is shoot! But he doesn't. He travels with the ball so far and somehow still in possession on Kinzombie. Shoot now! And he does score, Daniel!
A lot of players and influencers claim that Anas Verga might actually become the next big thing. Why? Maybe it's because of the fact that he's just 15 years old and he can't compete in EA official tournaments. For us here at Gamers Without Borders, it doesn't matter. We can spot a true talent. A talent who was able to humiliate Mert on his way to the playoffs. Oh, and it seems Graviton's plan to hit the top 8 is going pretty well. In his last game of the day, he didn't leave a dry thread on his opponent and battered him 9-2. This also earned him a spot amongst the prominent players who will still have a chance to fight on Monday. And that's why you have to keep in mind that no matter where you're from, be sure to check back for some more FIFA action here at Gamers Without Borders, both on YouTube and on Twitch. See you soon.
We've got plenty more goals to come throughout the rest of the show. But for now, let me introduce to you one of Spain's top FIFA players. We had a chance to sit down and talk with Jaime Gravison Alvarez.
Yes, last year I finished up in the 4th place, losing against Umut, Red Bull Leipzig Umut in the semifinals. And yeah, it was a really fun experience. We got to compete against the best players, not only in Europe, but in the whole world. I got to play against MS Dosseri, who I didn't play before, and in my opinion, he's the best player in the world. So it was a fun experience. Yeah, I think the idea is amazing. I remember thinking about it last year, just getting the chance to play some FIFA at my home. getting some money for a good cause. And then, I don't know, I remember talking with NRC Norway, the charity who I chose, getting to talk to them about doing something in the future, maybe traveling to Norway or to help the cause. It was really amazing, and I think, I support this kind of tournaments because I think they're lit, so I'm looking forward to the one this year. I fear the most MS Dosari, same as last year, because he just qualified for the World Cup for the third time in a row, and in my opinion, he's the GOAT of our generation, so I don't want to play against him. I would like to play against JRA, he's a Spanish player. I think we have kind of a rivalry between us to cement our legacy as the best Spanish player in the history. So any chance I can play against him, I want to play against him. I don't care if it's a charity event, a Food Champions Cup event or whatever. So I'm looking forward to meeting him again. Okay, if I have to name my top 5 favorite players on the football field, I have to start with Thibaut Courtois as the goalkeeper. He's also a shareholder at my club at Team Lux Gaming, and in my opinion, he's the best goalkeeper out there, so I gotta go with him. As a defender, I think I will go with Rafael Varane. I really like him. I used to be a Real Madrid supporter back in the days, and when he won all those Champions League titles, he was one of the best defenders in the world, so I really like him. As a midfielder right now, Bruno Fernandes, I think he's the best midfielder out there. He has it all, like he has this charisma, this Portuguese charisma. He has the vision, he has the shooting, the passes, the skill. I think he's right now. I'm sure he's at his peak, and I'm sure he's the best midfielder out there right now. As a winger, I really like Di Maria. Back in the days, 2011, something like that. In the Copa del Rey final against Barcelona, he completely destroyed them. And in 2014, the Champions League finals, he also got to destroy Atletico de Madrid. So he's the perfect winger, in my opinion. And as a striker, Karim Benzema. He's just a man, the magician. I don't know, what else can I say about Benzema? If you like, this is a quote he said himself, if you like football, you like Karim Benzema, and I just support that quote. I used to play football back in the days. I was a goalkeeper, but you can see me sometimes play football in stream, in charity matches here in Spain, but I'm pretty bad at it, so you might not want to see me on the pitch that much.
Now it's time to meet our second guest here today in our show. Now, there's nothing this guy doesn't know in the world of FIFA, and some of you watching may even recognize him from his highly successful YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Žvíbek.
In terms of who I think will actually win, Anders Vergang is just such a ridiculous talent. I think he's the youngest competitor. He might be the youngest competitor among the group. Dosari is always dangerous, so if there's two guys that I think will get to the final, it may be between Dosari and Anders. Gamers Without Borders, I mean, it is something that I think speaks to the world right now. We need events like this in order to help, especially, I believe the cause changes from event to event. And with this year being COVID-19 relief, I couldn't think of a better way to use gaming and sport to come together and raise money for a really great cause. Okay, this is, I love this question. I want to say Germany, because I spent the first 7 years of my life there. My father's German, and I've been supporting them since I'm a kid. So I want to say Germany, and while I'm confident that we can still get out of the group, my favorites were France. But the way Italy have been playing has been really, I shouldn't say surprising, because they won, I think, 10 undefeated international matches in a row. So I still think France are probably the favorites. I like Italy because they're young, they're energetic. I love the way that they're playing footy right now. And I think Portugal are right there in the mix as well. So all all the teams that are favorites are in that France, Germany, Portugal mix, but Italy are the dark horse guys that I think have a shot to do it. Goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer, in my opinion. I used to think Oliver Kahn was the best goalkeeper of all time. Then the 2002 World Cup final happened, and that kind of freaked me out. I still love Oliver Kahn, but Manuel Neuer, just the way that he plays, he's like a creative keeper. His distribution is weird and funky. He's at midfield more often than he is in his own net, so he's always fun to watch. Sergio Ramos, say what you want about him. Super physical dude, can get a little bit nasty, but I don't think there's a defender. He's the guy that you want next to you. Midfielder Joshua Kimmich, in my opinion, is one of the best midfielders. I think KDB probably is the best, maybe Bruno Fernandes, but Kimmich for me is just absolutely incredible. No surprise here. Robert Lewandowski, robbed of the Ballon d'Or, probably deserved it. So in terms of attacker, I just absolutely love Robert Lewandowski. I love Chucky Lozano for Napoli. He's a guy that plays really well in FIFA, and he's just a really fun guy to watch at the international stage. So I would probably go with those five for now. Interesting way this question was phrased, because some people will just ask straight up, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? And then you're just going to get in a whole bunch of trouble answering one way or the other. You say Messi, the entire Ronaldo fan base comes against you. You say Ronaldo, the entire Messi fan base comes against you. So I'm not going to pick someone that's not the two of them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the best footballer in the world at the moment, I would say, is Messi. I think it's probably between two guys for me. Anders, I'm not sure how to say the last name. We all call him Anders Vergang. I believe he's Austrian. He is a pro player for, I think, Red Bull, and he's incredible. He went on this ridiculous run where he won like 300 games of foot champs in a row, which I don't think had been done up until that point, and he's like 15. So, I think he's only going to get better. And then Tex is just the guy that's been around the scene for the longest. Remember, it was 16 years old. He swept a bunch of tournaments that one year. And for me, Tex is still that guy that plays incredible. And Dosari. Dosari is obviously a guy that needs to be in the conversation as well. So for me, it's between the three of those. I'm going to give the slight nod to Anders, just because he's so young and he just has this cool vibe about him. And the guy doesn't lose. And I suppose that's what you would want in a player that you would deem the best in the world. So I'd go with Anders. Possibly something like Get Out or like Get It Out in terms of defending and the ball being on your side and your opponent trying to score. And sometimes just maybe the game won't go the way that you want, or this guy's like really like super crazy. You're just screaming at your defenders and your keeper to get it out. So I would probably say the phrase "get it out" might be the most popular phrase / word that FIFA players use when playing the game.
So let's get it out. Sorry, I had to do my own take of it right there. But coming up next, we have asked some tricky football questions to Žvíbak and Gravison. Let's see whose knowledge came out on top.
I've been to Mexico City, and I am going to say, you always hear about Estadio Azteca is, I believe, what it's called. It has a capacity of 100,000. And they play NFL games there. Obviously, I believe Tigres play there as well. But I'm always hearing about how crazy of a capacity that the stadium in Mexico City, believe it's called Estadio Azteca. So that's going to be my answer. I may be wrong.
Mexico.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Really? That's wow. Wow, I'm gonna check it afterwards for sure. That's mind-blowing.
8 feet tall by 17 feet wide.
2.5 meters height and length. Maybe 3.5 meters.
That makes sense. I undersold it. Yeah, I was too involved in thinking the height of it, and then that makes sense. It should, the length should be a lot longer than the height. Okay.
7.33. Man, I missed that by a lot.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it's one of two. At the end, the fans win, or at the end, whoever scores the most goals.
Germany always wins.
Oh, damn! I love the quote. I should have known that. I love that. And it is true. It is true. But
right. That's a good quote.
Madrid for Madrid in Spain, Sporting in Portugal, Chelsea in England, and Inter in Italy. Respect, man. Respect.
He won the domestic league in Italy with Inter Milan. He won it as well in England with Chelsea. In Portugal with Porto. And I don't know if he actually... And I'm gonna go in Spain with Real Madrid, but I'm not pretty sure about that one.
Yes, finally. Let's go.
Okay. I wasn't actually that sure that he won the La Liga with Madrid, but I just reminded me that he won the league, I think, with 107 points or something like that. Like he has actually the record most points.
I mean, the obvious answer would be Sir Alex, because he just absolutely destroyed the 90s and I think even maybe early 2000s. But then there's probably, I'm gonna say Sir Alex Ferguson. Wenger, I know Wenger doesn't have as many. He has the Invincible season, but I'm gonna say Sir Alex.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking about either Guardiola or Ferguson, but I'm gonna go with Ferguson, but I'm not sure.
Jeez, this guy was serious. This guy was real serious.
Yes.
Again, one of these, is it the contract? Is it the brand deals? I would imagine, because the question is who's the highest in total. I want to say it's Ronaldo, because Messi, I don't think Messi does as many. I've seen a couple adverts, chips and stuff like that Messi does, but Ronaldo is everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, I know Neymar had the crazy transfer fee. I'm going to say Ronaldo.
The highest football player, paid football player in the world is Cristiano Ronaldo, I suppose.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a surprise.
Messi. Man, I thought Cristiano Ronaldo won more money from marketing and stuff,
I know this one. I think I know it. I believe it's Brazil. And then I think Germany and Italy are tied. Or Germany might actually have, it's 4 or 5, but I think Brazil have 6. Brazil have either 5 or 6. The 2002 one was either the 5th or 6th. So I'll say Brazil.
The country that won the most World Cup titles is Brazil. Okay, I pictured the stars over the top of the patch in my head.
Okay, so Yellow Submarine makes me think that it's maybe a Premier League team. Yellow Submarine, and I would imagine maybe their colors are Leeds United.
Villarreal from Spain.
Villarreal. That is true. That's right. I should know that. They just won the Europa League. I saw that somewhere.
That's a hard one. That's an easy one for me, but for other players, that's not an easy one.
So this challenge goes to Gravison, but who won the Gamers Without Borders FIFA in 2021? Let's check it out.
16 players remained on the field, which meant that after 2 extremely intense days of elite FIFA 21 gaming, it was now time to see who would become the Gamers Without Borders champion. And what a spectacle it was. We kick things off with the duel between Adraman and Saudi Arabia's very own Y2 Hardy. At first, both sides played the waiting game, ending the first match with just a 1-1 score.
Last chance, Saluni. Added time of a minute. Kingsley Coman's away. It's going to be a 1-1 ball roll. There's your goal. And we're all square.
Game 2 might have looked the same, but in the end, Y2 Hardy was able to pull away and ended up with a 5-3 win. But that was just an appetizer, as soon after that we could witness none other than Bergan. Despite being only 15 years old, this Danish prodigy has already engraved his name in the FIFA annals, and his match against A-Juvenile just made him even scarier.
The finish past the keeper, that is the young lad personified. It is 1-0 on 31 minutes.
He gave his opponent no quarter, and in the end, obliterated A-Juvenile 10-2. A pill almost as hard to swallow as the one given to T-Mox by H. Hezers in the form of a 12-2 beating. And Gravison dropped out, which meant more space for the young guns to shine. With the other round of 16 matches done and dusted, it was now time for the quarterfinals. And honestly, they were just as you might have expected. Eldos eliminated Mo Jabri, Dennis took care of Mert, Leify de Weert won over H. Hezers, and unsurprisingly, the Danish wonderkid didn't give Y2 Hardy any room to breathe, easily securing his semi-final spot.
Now, big option out on the wing there. Maybe go for the cross. We'll just go for the shot in the end. And when you see it done so simple like that, Anders.
This gave us two serious semifinals to look forward to, and boy did they deliver. Battle of the youngsters and battle of the Bundesliga. Eldus and Vergang began the show with style, with the latter putting the ball in the net around the 23rd minute.
His defense isn't necessarily as good as Levy's in my opinion, but you can see from his attack, he just does everything perfect.
But if you thought that Eldus would just sit back and watch, you should think again.
To Fulton Hazard, the Belgian forward, into Ansgar Knaf.
But just before halftime, the Dane once again pulled ahead, and despite Eldus' best efforts, Game 1 was just out of his reach. The game of chess continued during the second leg, with both players looking for opportunities, until finally Vergang scored.
And ball into Ibrahimi, and he's just about onside. And he's able to finesse the one into the back of the net, a 2-goal cushion.
And then scored once more, in the end coming into the second half with a 3-goal cushion. And surprise, surprise, he just kept on scoring.
Ibrahimi, 49th minute into Clive. This man is looking for blood, and he will not stop scoring goals now. He wants another one. Clive's through. It's a late tackle, it doesn't matter. Even when he's getting fouled from behind, he can still find the back of the net.
In the end, advancing to the grand final with a significant 8-2 win. In the second semifinal of the day, Dennis clashed with yet another wonderkid, Leify de Weert, coming straight from the Netherlands, and putting the ball straight into the opponent's net around the 13th minute.
7-5 over Mertz. Oh my goodness, player almost going down. By the way, ball roll, 1 pass, 2 pass. And just like that, Dennis will find himself behind.
In the second half, Dennis finally found some contact.
Levy not biting in that instance, but the through ball is on. Demarai Gray has a hit, finds the bottom right-hand corner.
But in the end, it was all about Leify, who closed out the Game 1 with a 4-2 lead. Game 2 was much more of a mind game between the two players, with only Dennis scoring at first.
Again, maybe a harsher ref has a look at that one. Not to be Bellarabi! The all-important first goal has been scored. It's been scored by Leverkusen. It's been scored by Dennis.
However, towards the end, Leify broke the deadlock and won the match with a 6-3 score. This meant that there was a huge grand final coming our way, with two prodigies fighting against each other, and to donate as much as $450,000 towards charity. Almost immediately, Leify went in for the goal, only to be quickly silenced by Vergang.
Charles, there's your first goal. Anders Vergang, expect end-to-end FIFA in this one.
Something which continued in the second half, with both sides not willing to give in, ending Game 1 with a 3-3 score. And guess what? You score, I score also continued in the second leg, until eventually Leify managed to gain the lead. Not for long though, as a result giving us the second golden goal of the tournament. 1 goal to rule them all, and in the end, it came from the Danish prodigy himself.
Counter-attack here from Anders, in on goal here.
This could be the one. Ibrahimi, cut back, Sabitzer, hill to hill!
To win $300,000 to donate to a charity of his choosing. What an achievement.
So ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner of the FIFA Elite competition. We got Anders here right now joining me in the studio. And I have to ask you off the bat, Anders, how does it feel, man, to take home the title, to once again win another trophy for yourself?
It feels really good. It was a really close final, so I'm really happy with my goal in the golden goal.
I mean, it seems like you're not new to winning. I see a lot of trophies behind you. Do you know how many trophies or how many titles you've won now?
I really don't know. I won a lot, but hopefully this is not the last.
Yeah, I mean, you're 15 years old. You've been able to put up so many victories in the past. I mean, this is becoming just another day at the job for you, right? Like, what's your plans for the future?
The plan is I still will be good when I will be 16, so I can play the big EA tournaments and hopefully win them.
I have to tell you from experience. I mean, I'm 33 years old. I get a little really frustrated when people younger than me can kick my butt when it comes to any video game. But it has to feel good for you. I have to wonder, what age did you start out playing FIFA, and where do you think the end is? Do you think there's anyone in the world you can't beat?
I think I started to play when I was like 7 years old in FIFA 13.
Wow. Okay. I mean, honestly, that's super impressive, and I'm curious. I want to give you the title of a prodigy here when it comes to FIFA. But I'm curious about one thing in particular. Your family, your parents, are they very supportive of you when it comes to this? Do they know you won the tournament?
Yes, they know. They really support me, and I'm really happy for it.
That's honestly great to see. It's sometimes parents don't really understand, or family members don't understand when it comes to esports and how big of a thing it actually is. But I got to ask you, overall, how has your experience been competing in Gamers Without Borders 2021? And would you come back for come back next time?
I'm really happy for the invite to the tournament, and if there will come another, I will play if I get an invite. And it has been 3 really nice days and really good matches against good opponents.
Yeah.
So it has been 3 really good days.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you're definitely going to be invited back next time when there is a next time, because you know what? You're the reigning champion. Congratulations once again on your victory, and that means you get to donate your prize to the charity of your choice. Which charity did you choose?
I choose UNICEF to donate my $300 US to UNICEF.
I'm going to jump in. If you guys at home are watching, did he say $300? No, $300,000 you won for charity. That is insane. And you know what? Maybe one day you'll be taking home titles like that and amounts of sums of that kind of money in your bank account. But Anders, I want to give you a quick chance here to give a shout out to your family, to friends, anyone out watching you play and participate in tournaments like this.
I think I will give a shout out to my family. I don't know who else I should give a shout out to.
Your fans, man. Your fans. You got to give them out.
My fans.
You know you're going to have a ton of them. Your career is just starting, man.